a real life story with you. There was one person aged about 44 years who never used to listen to people who were by age younger to him or by profession junior to him. Not only his junior colleague, but he also never used to listen to his wife as well. As a result, his juniors and even his wife were uncomfortable speaking to him. Now, if we look at, then we will find that he always used to operate in I am okay, you are not okay zone. As a result of that, he always feels that he knows everything, but other person doesn't know anything. He never appreciated people or thoughts of or ideas given by anyone else. Let us try to dig a little deeper. The result will be amazing. When he was a kid, he found that his dad never paid attention to his mother when she used to say something or to him when he tries to say something. He brought up with this upbringing that he does not need to listen to people who are junior or younger to him. Hi, my name is Amit Ganguly, coach, author and mentor. Do you know who is that person we were talking about? It was me until 5 years back. But after learning and practicing active listening skill, my life got changed totally. Today I am here to share a brief about active listening skill which transformed my life. Active listening skill, often known as reflective listening, help us to improve both personality development and professional development. Active listening skill is essential to be an effective leader, parent, supervisor, friend, spouse. Let's understand what is active listening skill and what it can do for us. The reason for poor listening skill is we often jump into the conclusion before hearing out the other person completely. This often happens because many of times we operate in I am okay, you are not okay zone, or maybe other attitude issues as well. To be a good listener, it is critical to hear completely what the other person is saying and occasionally paraphrase what is being told. This ensures our complete understanding and also avoid any assumption or ambiguity. This improves our interpersonal communication, professional growth and career satisfaction also. If you are a skilled listener, in that case, people around you will react or respond to you more positively. What are the other benefits of being a skilled listener? Let's understand that. We are more empathetic compared to earlier. Communication becomes more real, meaningful, worthwhile and at a deeper level. It helps us to clear some problems that we may have which is due to improper listening. We become more honest towards ourselves. We avoid interrupting. We avoid ambiguity and assumptions. We become more real individual and we start hearing the words beyond what we have spoken or what the other person is spoken. As per a paper published by the University of Missouri, a common person spends about 45 minutes of his or her time in listening. Interesting part is active listening demands more sophisticated mental process. Why so? It demands energy and discipline because we think faster than we speak. Our speaking speed is about 125 words per minute, while our brain has the capacity to understand 400 words per minute. Our brain tends to start thinking something else and gradually we get detached from the speaker. When we hear, immediately after hearing a 10-minute long lecture, we retain about 50% of the information. And after 48 hours, only 25% of the information is retained. If we talk about the definition of active listening, listening is taking information from the speaker, other people or sometimes to ourselves also, while remaining non-judgmental and empathetic. Acknowledge the speaker in a way to invite the communication to continue. Provide limited but encouraging input to the speaker and carry out the speaker's idea one step forward. Broadly, there are 6 different stages of listening. First is the most preliminary stage is the hearing. This is a pure physical process. Second stage is understanding. We start understand what we have heard. 3. Attending. At this stage, we become attentive to the speaker and gain interest on what is being told. 4th, remembering. Here we remember what has been told. 5. Evaluating. At that point of time or this point of time, we evaluate what has been told. And finally, stage 6 is responding. At this stage, we are ready to respond. What all things we should do or we should observe, practice to ensure active listening? Number 1, maintain eye contact. Very important. This shows that we are listening to the speaker. Second, listen, don't hear. Third, avoid being distracted by environmental factors, external noise, side conversation, and so on and so forth. If required, number 4 is take notes. But remember one thing, taking too much of note or engrossing in taking note is again a distraction. Number 5, seek clarification to clear the ambiguity. And number 6, defer judgment or judgmental thoughts or judgmental comments or jumping to the conclusion. Let's talk about the type of listening. Let's start with active listening. This is the first level of listening. While we pay full attention to the speaker, so when somebody is speaking to you, you maintain eye contact, look at the person and give some verbal and non-verbal cue. Okay? Second, reflective listening is the second or next level of listening. While in active listening, we pay visible attention to the speaker. In reflective listening, we show that we are not only listening, but we are understanding as well. How? By paraphrasing. What has been told, paraphrase that same thing once again. Number 3, empathetic listening. Now we all know empathy means put ourselves into other person's shoe. So, empathetic listening means you really feel or understand the situation or the emotion of the speaker. This is very, very important, especially when the speaker is emotionally down and the speaker is responding or reacting to that. Very important at that point of time. Number 4, fourth type, appreciative listening. What do we do here? We appreciate. We appreciate the idea, the thoughts given by the speaker. So, whenever, whoever it might be a team member, junior member, might be your son or daughter, when gives an idea, always say, wow, that's a very good idea. Wonderful idea. What will happen because of that? This appreciation, the person gets encouraged to think, encouraged to give further ideas in future as well. Next part is not so good one, critical listening. Here we become judgmental or analyze what the speaker has been told. Though critical listening doesn't mean that being judgmental about the speaker, but often the whole thing tends towards that direction. So actually speaking, critical listening means critically examine what the speaker has been told, what the message the speaker has been conveyed. That should be the critical part, not criticizing the speaker himself or herself. But many of times we make that mistake. Passive listening, next one or last one, which completely should be avoided. Passive listening is listening without giving any reaction. Suppose someone is saying something, I just sit like this. So what the other person or the speaker will feel, he or she is speaking to a wall, right? No reaction. So what we should do, other than the visible eye contact and all these, we should just nod the head and say a verbal cue also like, I see, I understand, etc. etc. What is the importance of active listening? Why it is important for us? Active listening can reduce the stress and tension between two people. Today, the biggest challenge is everyone wants to speak. Nobody wants to listen. So, what we need to do is we need to give time towards listening. Another problem is whenever we feel that the person is listening, many of times it so happens that they listen just to give the rebuttal, give the response, give the answer. That also is bad, right? So because of these reasons, the communication between two humans often gets deteriorated. By giving an active listening to people around us, we can win their heart, we can establish a great relationship. As a result of practicing active listening, people around us will be encouraged to speak whatever is there in their mind. Thus, there will be hardly stress or tension between these two people because they can open up to each other very easily. True listening always promotes cooperation and it assumes that the other person has worth, feeling dignified and something to offer. This makes the other person to feel positive, feel honored. People who feel that you are honestly interested to them and value their thoughts and opinion, they will be readily understand your point of view as well. It builds a trustworthy, positive relationship and a working relationship that improves from there. Listening to ourselves, another very important thing. To achieve self-awareness, we understand ourselves, we understand our drawbacks or faults, our mental process, our mental thought process. Everything can change. We can choose our reaction rather than reacting automatically. But once we have the self-awareness, once we develop the self-awareness, we can choose our response. So far, we have shared few things about active listening. I personally can tell from my life how active listening can change someone's life. I am sure once you start practicing active listening, it will change your life as well. Thank you for watching.